What's up, everybody? Scott and I are back here all with my dad today. We are here
Hello.
to start our preseason predictions for the football season, which starts in about 6 weeks here. So, getting excited for some football this year. Let's get into our UCF and Buccaneers predictions for this season. We'll start with UCF because I think they have the better team this year. First game, August 31st, 7 o'clock. Me and my dad are going to be at this game as we take on Kent State. The season series. The series is tied 2 games apiece. If I think UCF wins this game, I think UCF's a much better team here. I think it'll be closer than people think in this game. But I think UCF finds a way to get out of here, the bounce house with a win on opening night.
I agree. I don't even know what state Kent State is located in. That's probably a good sign. So I like UCF to win this by probably 3 touchdowns.
Next up, we go into Albertson Stadium, 7 o'clock first for kickoff as we take on Boise State. Tough game here on the Smurf turf, but I think UCF finds a way to get out of here with a win. I think UCF's going to win this game by about 10 points here on the road. I think UCF puts out the first statement that we are a contender in the Big 12 for years to come. So I'll take UCF on the road over Boise State.
This is actually a game that our family is flying to, so we'll actually be at this game. I think it's going to be closer than Scott thinks. I think it's going to be a last-second field goal kind of game. I like UCF in this by 3.
Next up, Military Appreciation Night. I will not be at this game. I'll probably be watching it on ESPN Plus. September 16th, take on Villanova. Thank God this isn't basketball. I will take UCF in this game. I think UCF finds a way to easily win this game. I think it's our easiest non-conference game of the season. I'll take UCF at home over Villanova.
I agree with Scott. I think UCF's going to go 3-0 here. We've got a pretty easy early schedule. As Scott said, thankfully we're not playing in basketball. So in football, I think we'll win by at least 14 points.
Next up, we head into Manhattan, Kansas. First Big 12 game for UCF as we head into Bill Snyder Family Stadium. Unfortunately, give me Kansas State here at home. I think UCF's going to keep it close for most of the game, but I think UCF's going to make a mistake late in the game to unfortunately give us a loss. So I'll take Kansas State at home over UCF.
And I'm going to go with Scott again on this one. I hate to agree with Scott on every pick, but Kansas State's a story program. We're on the road in the Big 12, our first game. They're going to be feeling a lot of pressure. I think Kansas State's probably a better team, but I think it'll be a close game, probably 10 or less points.
Next up, first UCF home game in the Big 12 as we take on Baylor on Family Weekend. First time we've met since the Fiesta Bowl in 2014. I will take UCF to win this game. I think UCF's a better team than Baylor, and we're at home. It should be nice and hot on September 30th. Me and my dad are going to be at this game. I will take UCF to win this game by about 14 points over Baylor.
You can see that Scott's spending my money right and left on these football tickets. So I think Baylor's actually a better team, but I do think that at home in our first Big 12 home game, the fans are going to be crazy. The players are going to be really riled up. I think we win this one in a really close field goal type game.
Next up, we head into Lawrence, Kansas to take on Kansas. Not the Kansas team we expected last year. I think they're going to take a couple steps back, but I still believe Kansas is a little bit better than UCF is right now. They kind of remind me of what Navy did to us last year. So I will take Kansas at home over UCF.
I'm actually going to go against Scott on this one. I think Kansas, they peaked early in the season last year, and then they kind of fell off the mountain. I think Kansas is going to give us a heck of a game, but I think we're going to win a close one on the road.
Next up, heading into Norman. My buddy Riley Carey's going to be at this game. Here's my upset of the season. Give me UCF to find a way to win this game. Dylan Gabriel's going to make a mistake late in the game. I will take UCF to find a way to get out of Norman, Oklahoma with a win and get a win here on the road.
I wish I shared Scott's optimism. I think Oklahoma's just too good of a team, too good of a program. I'm sure they've loaded up in the transfer portal. I think Oklahoma beats us and probably beats us by at least 2 touchdowns.
Next up, homecoming weekend as we head in back at home October 28th. as we take on West Virginia, probably the weakest team in the Big 12. I will take UCF to win this game handily. I think UCF finds a way to win this game very easily at home. Homecoming weekend against probably the weakest team in the Big 12. I will take UCF at home over West Virginia.
I apologize to the West Virginia fans that are watching this about what Scott just said about you, but he's probably right. They're definitely towards the bottom of the Big 12. I don't think any game in the Big 12 is going to be easy for us this year. With that said, I do believe that we will beat West Virginia, but in a close one, probably a touchdown game.
Next up, we head into Cincinnati to take on our old American Athletic Conference foes, Cincinnati. New coach out there in Cincinnati this year in Scott Satterfield. I don't believe it's going to be a good season for the Bearcats. I think they'll probably be one of the weaker teams out of the new group. I will take UCF to pull this one off on the road against Cincinnati.
I'm picking this game more with my heart than my head. Cincinnati is been a pretty consistent program. I do think the change in coaching staff will hurt them. I'm going to pick us on the road in a very, very close game.
And I think we're the better team here, so I think we'll win this one.
Fair enough.
Next up, at home, taking on Oklahoma State in the space game. I don't know why they picked this one as a space game this year. I will take UCF to win this one again at home. I think I just don't trust Oklahoma State right now with their quarterback position. I think it's going to be a battle of two great old head coaches here, Mike Gundy and Gus Malzahn, but I will take UCF to find a way to win this game at home over Oklahoma State.
I'm going to pick the team with the coach that's got the better hair. I think Oklahoma State with Gundy he's got the best head of hair in college football, and Oklahoma State's just a better program than we are. I think unfortunately we're going to take a loss here against Oklahoma State.
Next up, we head into Lubbock to take on Texas Tech. Another loss on the road. I think Texas Tech is actually one of the sleeper teams to do very well in the Big 12 this year. I'll take Texas Tech at home over UCF.
I think this will be a high-scoring affair. I agree with Scott. I think Texas Tech will beat us and probably beat us by 10 or more points, unfortunately.
Next up, Senior Night, Black Friday. I will be at this game also. I'm going to try and I'm only going to try and miss one home game this year if I can, as we host Houston. Give me UCF at home on Black Friday. I think UCF finds a way to get in and get a win here and get another win for the seniors as they head off to a good career at UCF. I'll take UCF at home over Houston.
I think it's going to be a really close matchup. Houston's got a quality program, but I'm going to give us the edge playing at home. I think we win a close one against Houston.
And then if UCF somehow makes the Big 12 championship game, that'll be December 2nd. But I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think we're a few years away from that. So I'll take UCF to finish 7-5, 8-4, somewhere in that range, to get a very good start into the Big 12 for our Knights here in 2023.
I could be wrong. I think my math says we'll be 7-5. So
Okay.
I think that would be a good solid season.
We're good with either one there. Now into a much tougher team to predict right now in the Bucks. First game out, September 10th, I believe we will be in Boise for that game, right?
Correct.
Yep. I'll be watching this game from my Boise State hotel room all by myself because my parents will probably be sightseeing with my sister. So this will be a nice early morning game for me at 10 a.m. as we take on the Minnesota Vikings. Closer than people think in this game because the Vikings have no defense. But I think the Bucks are going to make a mistake late in the game. I'm going to take the Vikings at home to win a close one over the Bucks here to start the season.
Unfortunately, the Vikings may have no defense, but we have no offense. And so I think the Vikings will beat us probably by at least 10 points.
Next up, home opener, 1 o'clock, September 17th, Raymond James Stadium. The crowd's probably not going to be very excited for this one as we take on Justin Fields and the Bears. First win of the season. I'll take Tampa Bay to get a win here. I think the Bears are not going to be used to this weather down here in Tampa on September 17th. It should be a hot one at 1 o'clock. And they got some new weapons this year, so it might take time for them to sync up with Justin Fields. So I'll take the Bucks at home over the Bears.
This is a tough one for me to pick because I truly think this is going to be a rough season for the Bucks. If I see a win or two on our schedule, this would be one of them. I agree with Scott. I think the Bears are going to probably start slowly, and it is in September at home. So I'm going to give the Bucks in a very low-scoring affair the slight edge to get the win.
Next up, Monday Night Football. I don't know why they got the Bucks in primetime 2 times this year, as we host the defending NFC champion Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Bucs have beaten the Eagles the last 2 times they've came here to Raymond James Stadium, but it's not going to happen here. Give me Jalen Hurts and the Eagles to get a win here on the road in Tampa against the Bucs.
You know the biggest difference between the Bucs this year and the last 2 times Philadelphia came in? Their quarterback was not
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield, exactly.
We did have Ryan Fitzpatrick one of those years.
True, but there's the Fitzmagic thing. So anyway, with Baker Mayfield at the helm and the Eagles being the far superior team, I see us losing this ball game probably by 17 points.
Next up, we head into New Orleans to take on Derek Carr and the New Orleans Saints. It's another loss for me. I think tough place to play. Derek Carr is one of the most underappreciated quarterbacks in the NFL. So I'll take the Saints to get this win here at home over the Bucs.
We could even beat the Saints with Brady. So now that we have Mayfield, I really don't like our chances giving the Saints this
We
win.
swept them last year.
I mean, overall.
Next up, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting another northern team in Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. October 15th. It's another loss. I think the Lions are the better team here. They're a lot of people's pick to win the NFC North this year. So I'm going to take Jared Goff and the Lions to get the win here on the road over the Bucs.
Creamsicle Day!
Yep, it is. I'll be wearing my Derek Brooks jersey in my house. I'm not going to that game.
The Lions and the Bucs are definitely heading in 2 different directions. The Lions were the hot team at the end of last season, and I think they'll continue with that streak. I also like the Lions in this to probably beat us by 10 or more points.
Next up, the Atlanta Falcons heading into Raymond James, another 1 o'clock game. Tough here. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay to find a way to win this game. I think at home against Desmond Ridder, who did not really impress me last year. I think Baker Mayfield will make enough plays here. Give me the Bucs at home over the Falcons.
I'm looking for games for the Bucs to win. Truth be told, I think Atlanta will probably be favored in this game, but they're not great at quarterback. I see the Bucs maybe getting a win here in a really low-scoring, close game.
Next up, another primetime game as we head into Buffalo, New York to take on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. A couple days before Halloween, and I think this will be a very scary game for us. Give me Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills to get the win here very easily at home in Orchard Park. I don't think this game will be even close. The closest this game will be is a kickoff. I'm going to take Josh Allen and the Bucs and the Bills to get the win here over the Bucs.
Yeah, I don't think the Bills will be as good as they've been the last 2 or 3 years, but the Bucs are definitely not as good. So I agree with Scott that the Bills will roll in this game.
Next up, the Buccaneers heading into Houston to take on the Houston Texans. Not a good look here either. I'm going to take the Texans. We always struggle against rookie quarterbacks. I think C.J. Stroud's going to absolutely carve up this defense. Give me the Texans at home over the Bucs.
Again, I'm looking for games that the Bucs can win, and so I think this is a winnable game against a rookie quarterback. There's a learning curve in the NFL. I think we're going to go in and win a close game in Houston.
Next up, a game that I was supposed to go to until I found out this morning that this is state games for Special Olympics softball, so can't do that. As it'll be the Tennessee Titans heading into Tampa to take on the Bucs. Give me the Bucs to win this game. I think I know they just signed DeAndre Hopkins this week. They still have Derrick Henry, but I think the Buccaneers find a way to win this game at home over the Titans.
I don't share Scott's optimism. This is one I cannot see us winning. The Titans, to me, are one of the best coach teams in football. I think they come in and they beat us and they just ground us with Derrick Henry.
2 really bad teams this year, so we'll see. Next up, we head back to San Francisco for the 2nd year in a row as we take on one of those quarterbacks in San Francisco. It doesn't really matter which one. I'll take the Niners to win with any of those quarterbacks this week against the Bucs.
I agree. The 49ers are going to be one of the 4 or 5 best teams in football. They're probably going to beat us by at least 2 touchdowns.
Next up, we head into Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Give me the Colts at home. I think the Colts are a better team right now, and give me the Colts to win this game.
I agree. It's going to be really tough for us to win games on the road. The Colts are probably a mediocre team in the NFL, but we're not going to be mediocre. We're going to be below mediocre. I think Colts will beat us.
Next up, Tampa Bay hosting Carolina. Bryce Young's going to, again, show people why he was the number one pick in the draft against possibly next year's number one pick in the draft in Caleb Williams. I will take Carolina on the road to get it done against the Bucks.
Again, I'm looking for games we can win. I think this is a winnable game. I do think Bryce Young has a bright future, but I think that rookie quarterbacks can have a learning curve, so I see the Bucks getting their fourth win here in this game.
Next up, the Buccaneers host going on the road to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. I think we've won 3 of the last 4 in Atlanta, but I don't think we win here. Give me the Falcons on the road at home against the Bucks.
I took the Bucks beating Atlanta at home. I don't think we beat them twice. I think we'll lose on the road to the Falcons.
Next up, we head to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field to take on Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. I think Aaron Jones will be enough to win this game. I'll take the Packers at home over the Bucks.
I agree. I think the Packers are better at most positions than we are. They do have a brand new quarterback, but I think they're just a better overall team. Playing at home, we're going to lose that game.
Christmas Eve, it's not going to be a very nice Christmas for us. After the butt whooping we get on Christmas Eve, there'll be Trevor Lawrence and the Jags heading into Tampa to take on the Bucks. Give me Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars to get the win here very easily on the road against the Bucks.
I think the Jags will be one of the favorites in the AFC this year, which is surprising to say. But I think the Jags are far superior to the Bucks, and they'll unfortunately beat us at home.
Next up, December 31st, New Year's Eve, as we take on the New Orleans Saints at home. We beat them at home last year. I don't think we beat them at home this year. I'm going to take the Saints on the road to get it done against the Bucks.
I agree. I think the Saints are going to be a superior team to us this year. I think they're going to sweep this series this year.
Next up, the Buccaneers heading into Carolina to take on the Panthers. I will take the Panthers at home over the Bucks.
Yeah, I picked the Bucks to beat the Panthers at home. I don't think they'll beat them on the road. Give me the Panthers as well.
So I think so that'll do it for this episode of Scott's Swing Sports. I think the Bucks will win 3 games this year, and we get the number 1
3
pick.
and 14.
And we get the number 1 pick in the draft, and the Caleb Williams era begins next season, and the Super Bowl start coming for the Buccaneers. I think this is exactly what they need to do this year. So yeah.
I've got them going 4 and 13. I actually hope they win less games because I do think Caleb Williams is a generational quarterback. I think he could be the next Patrick Mahomes, so I hope we get that first pick. So that would be a great start to the 2024 season.
And that will do it for this episode of Scott's Swing Sports. I'll be back next week with some more NFL predictions. I think I'll start posting on Saturdays more now that my dad's working and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll see you guys next Saturday right here on Scott's Swing Sports. See you later, guys.
See you guys.